Detroit basketball. Let's go, baby. The playoffs are here, and we finally get to watch our Detroit Pistons in the playoffs. We don't have to watch other NBA teams compete in the playoffs. We get to actually enjoy our team, actually have a chance in the first round to win a playoff series and win a playoff game for the first time since 08 and 09. I'm really excited. It's the Knicks. I know I made a video a couple weeks ago talking about who do I want in the first round, whether it be the Knicks or whether it be the Indiana Pacers. The reason I didn't want it to be the Indiana Pacers, even though that would have been a really fun series to watch because we love to get into pushing matches, arguments. We like to talk ish with the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers have had our number all season long, and I don't think we would have done really well in that first round. I'm glad we get to play the New York Knicks, and I understand that the regular season has nothing to do with the playoffs. The playoff intensity goes up, and you could also argue that the Knicks have way more experience than us in the playoffs. The only players that we have on our team that have playoff experience, finals experience, is Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris has playoff experience, and Malik Beasley has playoff experience. Those are the only three players that have ever seen playoff basketball on this Detroit Pistons team, and I'm ready for it. And I think this Detroit Pistons team, although we struggled down the stretch of the regular season, that was kind of due to lineups being in and out. Tobias Harris being in and out of the lineup, Cade Cunningham being in and out of the lineup. I'm not really worried with how this Detroit Pistons team finished the regular season just because of the chemistry this team has. And I understand, not that I understand, I think this week, while the play-in tournament's going on, is going to be very beneficial for this Detroit Pistons team to focus in and get ready for this playoff series against the New York Knicks. And it's game one, Saturday night, 6 p.m. on ESPN, primetime television. Everyone's got their eyes on the New York Knicks. A lot of the experts think the Detroit Pistons have no chance that it's going to be the New York Knicks in 6 because they got down the roster, the Knicks got better players. I don't think so. If you look at the stats and if you look at the head-to-head matchups, Cade owned Jalen Brunson. Cade's got better stats than Jalen Brunson. And in my opinion, Cade is the better player. So we have the best player in this series on our team. And it's like I said earlier in the video, coming back to experience. Is Cade going to rise to the occasion and showcase his superstardom in front of the whole nation? Or is he going to dwindle up in his first ever playoff appearance? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But with the regular season, Cade owns the points per game total with 26.1 points per game. Jalen Brunson had 26. Cade's got 6 rebounds per game and 9.1 assists, where you go to Jalen Brunson, who's got 26 points per game, 2.9 rebounds per game, and 7.3 assists per game. I'd take Cade over Jalen Brunson any day of the week, and that's who I'm building a team around. You can argue with me in the comment section down below. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I'm biased with that, but I'm taking Cade all day, and he seems to own Madison Square Garden. The 2 matchups that we had in New York, Cade went off. He had 36 and 9 one game, and 24 and 12 assists game, one game against at Madison Square Garden. Cade owns Madison Square Garden, and this series is going to be fun. I'm really thinking this is going to be his coming out party. Now let's talk about, I think this series is going to be really, really physical, and the Detroit Pistons, in my opinion, own the physicality. They're not going to let anyone come around and punk us, especially Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris, Isaiah Stewart, all the forwards, Ron Holland, Asar Thompson. No one's going to let them come in here and punk us. Cat can't handle the physicality. I'm a fan of Cat. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is a really good player. But when you start playing physical on him, bringing Isaiah Stewart, hitting him a little bit, get him off his game, I think the physicality really, that's what this series is going to come down to, physicality and rebounding. I think the Detroit Pistons had the edge in physicality, and I think the New York Knicks had the edge in rebounding because Josh Hart's just an animal on the glass. And this is what I think it's going to happen. It's going to come down to rebounding. The Detroit Pistons have to rebound because down the stretch of the regular season, we were struggling against the Memphis Grizzlies to rebound. We struggled against a few of the other teams to rebound down the stretch, and the Detroit Pistons cannot get outworked on the glass. You have to rebound. And defensively, I think we're going to be putting Asar Thompson or Ron Holland on Jalen Brunson. You're probably going to move Jalen Duren out on Josh Hart, or one of their players, and you're going to take the wear and tear off Cade on the defensive end. I think if you put Asar Thompson on Jalen Brunson, that's going to be the recipe for success right there. And are the Knicks going to let Cade cook like they let him do all regular season, or are they going to send double teams at him? But no one can ever slow down motorcade. No one's ever going to slow down Cade Cunningham, because once they send double teams at him later in the game, he starts to figure out how to dissect dissect the defense. He starts to figure it out. So he never gets rattled when they're sending double teams at him. But we'll see how the Knicks tend to play it. And if they're not sending double teams at him, are they going to just let him cook the whole time and let him go off on his own and then have them just let Cade beat him? Who knows what Tibbs is going to draw up. And the Knicks are only going to be rolling 7-8 deep. So if we're playing physical with them, we're wearing them down. Who knows what it's going to be like when it gets to game 3, game 4, when it's here in LCA. I think the Pistons have a chance to win this series, or at least going to win a playoff game against the New York Knicks for the first time since 08, 09. And I think the Pistons have a chance to win this in 6 or 7. It all depends on if Cade shows up, and if Cade starts to show up and he starts to show off his superstardom, watch out. This Detroit Pistons team can win their first playoff series for the first time in 15, 16 years, however long it's been. But I'm really excited to finally watch my Detroit Pistons play playoff basketball in the NBA. It's really exciting. This is going to be a fun series. Let's go Pistons. Let me know what your series predictions are down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video. It really helps the channel grow. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.